When I was a kid, I used to watch TV. And then
Yeah.
I think once my mom saw me replicating the moves of all the actors and all the
Hmm.
Tamil songs, and
Of
then she was
course.
like, "Oh my God, like Karthik can dance." It kept me thinking for that weekend.
Right.
Indian dancing is not just about Bollywood. There is so many other styles and
Mm.
culture that India has. My car always has a tripod because I never know
Oh,
when I
really?
will get the idea. A lot of people
Yeah.
say I enact the Alabadi Vijay's moves, and I'm not ashamed at all. I want that to be the
Hmm.
compliment. This has been a dream for me for the like since I came to the US, right? To
Yeah.
have my own dance company and stuff. And
Of
now that
course.
I'm a permanent resident here in Canada, I'm like, why don't I do that? Because
Mm.
my primary goal is, yes, of course, I love dancing. I want to start my company, but also to educate the kids, teens, adults, not just in one culture, like not just Tamil, but also about every Indian stuff.
Welcome
Finally.
to the arrambam show.
Thank you.
Excited,
I'm
excited to
so
have you on
excited.
board.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Hari. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a long time coming because when we first connected, right, it was
Mm.
in December, and we were initially
Yes.
talking about your U.S. tour, and I had
Yeah.
mentioned to you that hey, we're kicking off a podcast in the new year, and when that comes together, would love to have you on. So we did
Yeah.
kick it off a few days back, like this past week, and
Mhm.
excited to get you on board and have you on the show here.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about the history. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the New York City, and then
Yeah.
I think you know Saumya, so she was
Yes.
the one
Yes.
who
Yes.
connected, and it was so glad. It took
Right.
2 months, but still, we are
Yeah.
doing everything in the month of March, so good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Everything's coming together. This is the time. This is the
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll jump right in. So the
yeah.
first question is I'm sure most people who are listening and watching this know who
Mhm.
you are, but would love to hear it from your own words. Who is Karthik Nats?
Okay, so first thing I want to say is my full name is Karthik Natarajan. A
Nice.
lot of people doesn't know because I
Okay.
remember when I created my Facebook account when I was in my high school, people are
Yeah.
like, Natarajan is like, we need to keep something trendy. So they are the ones who actually gave me the word Nats.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
luckily Karthik Nats has become like, oh, Nats, it's fancy. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
about
nice.
it. To give a brief introduction about myself, I was born in Chennai, like in
Okay.
Tamil Nadu, and I did my schooling, undergrad, everything in Chennai. And then I worked there for a year, and then I came to the US, South Carolina for my
South
master's.
Carolina. Nice.
Yeah, and then I did that for 2 years, and then I worked for
What
3 years,
college
and
did you go to?
I was in Clemson.
Clemson. Nice. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the
Nice.
football
Okay.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
awesome.
was good. It was really good. I mean, it was a culture shock to me because I think you know,
Yeah,
and most of the
of
people know,
course.
like you, like India, brought up in India is like completely different than like being in the US. But
Of
I
course.
think I spent 6 years in the US. It was
Of
good,
course.
and then I worked in North Carolina, and my visa was not working out, so COVID
Mm.
happened. So went
Yeah.
back to India, did the creating stuff, which we'll get soon to it, and then
Yes,
now I'm
absolutely.
settled in Canada, Vancouver. Yay!
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And specifically, you've been in Canada how long now? Has it been?
I think it's exactly been 1 year and 4 months.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
sweet. Before we get into more stuff, I'm curious. So you came from Chennai to America, but you were not just in any random part of America. You were in South Carolina, which is a
Yeah.
completely different experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great city and a great environment, of course, but you were
Mhm.
there, then you spent some time up north here, and
Yeah.
then you went to Vancouver. How is that like culture, environment? How's that change been for you? Like, how's that
Mhm.
experience?
So for me, I don't see a lot of difference between Canada and the US per se,
Okay.
but
Okay.
definitely a lot of difference from like India and the US. Like my bachelor's was in civil engineering. I'm into civil
Hmm.
engineering.
Yes.
So the work culture in India was pretty different, and the work culture in the US is pretty different. But for
Yes.
me, I personally preferred the way I learned and worked in the US. So I
Mm,
loved and preferred that work culture. So even though when the visa
nice.
was not working out, chose
Yeah.
Canada because they kind of, accept the US experience as one.
Of course.
And that's why I was like, okay, Canada's pretty cool. And then I came and it's a beautiful city, Vancouver.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
just worked out, I guess, for the best.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong in Vancouver. I grew up in Seattle, as I mentioned to you, so I
Oh,
spent a lot of time.
yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I spent a
Yeah.
lot of time in Vancouver. We would just drive up for the weekend
Yeah.
there's a temple and then a lot of Indian food and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was like I don't know if they're still there. There's like a, at least growing up, I would go to this. It's called the Dosa Hut or maybe the
Oh
Dosa
yeah,
Palace. Is
there's
that
yeah,
still a
there's
thing?
like a lot of restaurants which has the dosa name in it. Now
Oh,
it became
really?
like a trend now. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I
Food wise, I'm
remember there was
happy.
one. Yeah, there was one that
Yeah,
was really big. That was like, okay, this is even in Seattle. There wasn't a lot of Indian food or South Indian food, especially. So we'd have to go to
yeah.
Vancouver to experience
Oh
it
really?
there. Yeah,
Okay.
that
Yeah.
this is like early 2000s, right? So
Mhm.
there's a lot now, right? But
Yeah,
back
yeah.
then there wasn't that
Hmm.
much. So
Hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
nice. So
Cool.
now that's incredible to see you go across different continents, different countries. Now here in Canada, I think the
Yeah.
one thing that I've seen, right, is, and everyone's seen through Instagram and YouTube, is you
Mhm.
still stayed true, of course, in Tamil culture and really carried Tamil dance, especially Kuthu
Mhm.
dance and all that, all the elements around that forward with you all the way from Chennai to even now to America to Vancouver. So would
Mhm.
love to hear your story in terms of what got you into dance. Where did that all get started for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. I never mentioned dancing in these two questions. Okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah, right. Of course, like me brought up in India, of course, I'm sure you know the movie culture in India is
of
like
course.
totally different. It's like
Right.
amazing where all
Yeah.
these big heroes have like first day, first shows and everything. We're like
Right.
brought up
Right.
with that, right?
Yeah.
So when I was in like India, I think I'm a huge Talapati Vijay fan. Let me put that
Amazing.
right now. That's why we're gonna have a workshop of the Vijay song. But yeah, when I was a kid, I used to watch TV. And then
Yeah.
I think once my mom saw me like watching TV and I was replicating the moves of all the actors and all the
Hmm.
Tamil songs. And
Of
then she was
course.
like, oh my God, like Karthik can dance. Maybe let's just put him in all the Pongal shows, Diwali shows,
That's
annual day.
amazing.
That's how I came to know that I can dance. I'm a
Right.
self-taught, like nobody trained
Okay.
me. And
Right.
then like my mom
What
saw,
age
and
was this? What age was this?
to be honest, I think I was like 5 or 4 years old. I still
Wow.
have the
Okay.
pictures.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? Okay.
yeah.
Incredible.
One thing
Incredible.
I'm jealous of this generation is that everyone has videos of it, but in
Of
our
course.
like when I was doing my school, it's all about
Yeah.
photos. I really
Right.
wish I've seen my video like how I danced when I was like a kid,
Hmm.
you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, so that how happened, and then I never miss any shows. I just go out all out in all the shows. And then when I
Right.
came to high school and everything, in India, dance was not very well recognized as they do here, at least when I was
Okay.
in high school,
Right.
because right, like everyone wants to be a doctor or an engineer. That's all
Of
it is.
course. Of
And
course.
there's no like dancing or there's no like extracurricular activities that people
Right.
even know about.
Yeah.
But I still kept dancing and I found opportunities to perform. But still,
Nice.
I'm in India and I did my engineering bachelor's. That was
Of
my top
course.
goal. And
Yes.
then I was like doing things, and I actually did get trained in Swingers Dance Academy for about
Oh,
6 months
sweet. Okay.
because I wanted to know like what else is there, and then it was good like
Hmm.
hip hop, jazz, contemporary, salsa, everything I got trained
Yeah.
under,
Yeah.
and then I had to quit that because I got my master's admit in the US. So till then,
Sure.
I thought dance is basically just to go and perform in shows, get
Yeah.
compliments from our friends and family. Hey, Karthik, you dance well. I'm like, thank you. That's like the biggest compliment, right?
Right. Right. Of
So
course.
what sparked me into getting into dancing most is I still remember I came to my undergrad, right? Like my
Yeah.
master's in the US, and there was a Diwali show. The Indian
Hmm.
Association hosted a Diwali show in Clemson University, and everyone came, every nationality, like Americans, Iranians, everyone came to that show,
Hmm.
and I volunteered to just perform, and it
Nice.
was for a song, I think Kala Shashma, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
And then I performed, the crowd went wild. I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay. I didn't expect that because, right, I'm in the new country and I'm like, people are still enjoying our performance. Whoa,
Yeah.
okay, right? That was good. And then
And it
after,
was all by yourself. You
just
performed all
me.
by yourself. Just
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I learned, I choreographed. I love choreographing and I choreographed and I
Nice.
performed. And I love
Nice.
performing on stage. I just love performing. When the camera is pointed at me, I'm like, let's go. So that
That's amazing.
happened, and after the show ended, there were these Americans who like came to me and were like, I loved your dance and everything, yes. But then they said that I love it's called Bollywood dancing, right? And I'm like, yeah,
Right.
Kala Chashma is a Bollywood song, yes. But then it kept me thinking for that weekend,
Right.
Indian dancing is not just about Bollywood. Of course, Bollywood is
Hmm.
huge. I love
Of
Bollywood. Like if
course.
you've seen my Instagram, there are like so many Bollywood songs that I collab with,
Right.
and my friends are Bollywood dancers. But I just kept thinking there is so many other styles and
Mm,
culture that India has, right? Like unity and diversity for a reason. And
right.
that sparked me into getting that I need to also bring my culture into how they brought
Mm,
Bollywood culture to all people. And I want to break the stereotype. It's just not like one language, one style. It's about all languages and all style, like Telugu,
right.
Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada, Gujarati, everything.
Yeah.
So that's what got me into it. And then I
Okay.
started taking classes,
Nice.
workshops, and everything. And of course, preliminary, my favorite style is South Indian Kuthu because I just
Yeah,
get to
of
love it,
course.
the energy and
And
everything.
that's what we
Because
grew up with, right?
yeah, right.
Of
All the
course.
movies that we go to and everything. It's just like
Of
in
course.
our blood.
Of
So
course.
that thing happened, and that's how my dance journey started.
Yes.
I had to go back to India due to COVID, but
Hmm.
that's where I did a lot of collabs with all the amazing artists in Chennai because all the people
Hmm.
are local there.
Of
And
course.
my Instagram and YouTube, I love to make content, reels, everything. And I started taking workshops from 2020, and here we are in New York.
Yeah. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah,
So I was gonna get into that, right? Which was, I know you started doing college Chasma, but it's like, when did you transition to Tamil? And I know you do all the different Indian songs and movie songs
yeah,
and different things. I think
yeah,
what I'm curious about is when was like, okay, I'm going to do just specifically Tamil dances and songs and choreos, and what was like the, so that was like the inspiration of, like, let's bring out more than just Bollywood, right? But it's
mm,
like, when was it like, okay, I'm gonna be effectively, not in a bad way, but it's like in a great way,
yeah.
you're branded as like the Tamil Kuthu dancer, right? And it's, what was the thinking behind that there?
Yeah, so like you said, I did do a lot of Bollywood dances and like Telugu and everything.
Of
But of
course.
course, deep rooted, like Tamil is like my native language and everything. So I
Yeah.
always had that urge to bring that out. And of
Hmm.
course, when it comes to workshops, right? Like in general, if you take about workshops, all these styles, let's say 70 or 75% of the language or the song is mostly Bollywood, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like whenever like artists come, I go as first person to attend their classes because
Yeah.
I love to learn from them, like their
Hmm.
musicality and everything. But then I want that percentage to also include Tamil songs and
Of
everything
course.
too. Like
Of
I have
course.
my own dance company in Vancouver. We do
Right.
all, everything. Like we do like Hindi, Punjabi, everything, like Telugu
Hmm.
songs too. But I was like, okay, when I'm taking workshops, why don't I bring this culture and be predominant about it? And the
Hmm.
reason I'm doing US tour, Canada tour, and everything is that there are so many people who actually wants to do this style because they see movies, but there is not a lot of outlet. At least that's what they text message me about. We
Right.
wish we had this instructor here, right?
Of
So
course. Of
my goal
course.
is to bring them also into the picture and to educate everyone else that
Hmm.
Indian style, when it comes to dancing, it's also a lot of styles. And this
Right.
style, like being South Indian Kuthu style, is also one of those styles, and you
Of
need to
course.
try it. And
Yeah.
to be honest, to my classes, a lot of people who come are in Tamil. Like there are Tamil
Yeah.
people, yes,
Of course.
but when all the people from different regions come, it just makes me so happy to have everyone in one roof. Nobody knows language, but they just love the
Yeah.
vibe, the song, and they
Right.
love everyone to dancing together. So
Yeah.
I witnessed that in the first workshop, and I thought to myself that I'm gonna keep continuing doing it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So when
Yeah.
did you start doing your first? When was it like your first workshop that you instructed yourself?
Yeah, so of course I need to do my, all the dances, videos, collabs and
Hmm.
everything to get me out in the picture, right?
Right.
That's very important too.
Yeah.
I think when I was in India, since I was there for 3 years because of the COVID break, my first workshop was in 2022 or 2021, like official
Okay.
workshop. But
Nice.
back in the US, of course, I was associated with the undergrad dance team, UNC
Yeah.
Chalka. I had to tell that because I love the team. There was another
Nice.
Bhangra Elite and Kamikaze, but I used to take
Okay.
workshops for our team to fundraise and everything. It
Hmm. Hmm.
started there, but me as a solo individual, it was post
Right.
COVID.
It was post COVID. What,
Yeah.
I'm curious now. What was the post COVID solo? What was the first song? What
Oh
was the
yeah.
first?
So I love hip hop too. So there's a
Okay.
song called Endrendram Punnagai from the movie
Yeah.
Alaipaide. I
Yeah. Of
love that
course.
song. And I kept listening to it and I kind of got a like a hip hopish routine for it. So that was
Nice.
my first workshop actually.
That's
Interestingly, it was
incredible.
not
Okay.
Kuttu. And
Yeah.
then people
And it
love
wasn't
people.
Vijay, it wasn't Talapati. It
Ex
was,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I was
crazy.
shocked that I still get shocked. How did I not do a Talabadi song in the first workshop?
Right.
And I'm so sentimentally attached to it.
Of
And
course.
yes, that was my workshop. But then I think people saw my reels, like the Kuthu style
Hmm.
reels, and they're like, why don't you teach this? Because no one taught it. To be honest, like
Hmm.
in Chennai when I was there,
Really? In
nobody,
Chennai, nobody taught Kuttu?
no, I didn't see anyone like making a poster which says South Indian Kuthu style. It was
Wow.
still Tamil songs, yes,
Yeah, of
but
course.
it's
Of course.
also about like hip hop, lyrical choreo, all those
Hmm.
styles come in. But I
Hmm.
didn't see like a proper branding, and I'm like, oh, this is not something I would want. Before I come to Canada, I have
Of
to do
course.
this. And then I
Of
did
course.
Karthik Nats as my second workshop, and
Nice.
that was like a sold out one. That it's still in Instagram and YouTube. I loved it. People loved it. It's like a it's like Anirudh musical. It's like
Of
a
course.
banger, right?
It's a
So
banger. It just
yeah,
goes hard every time you listen to it.
it's
Anytime.
so good. Yeah, after
Yeah.
I got the response from them and I started taking more of that style. But yes,
Hmm.
of course, I include some of the hip hops there too. But yeah,
Of course.
mostly it's been like Kuthu.
Kuttu. Okay. Okay. Makes
Yeah.
sense. So when you came back to the US and then Canada, what was your I'm then now I'm curious, what was your first workshop here
Oh,
in this side?
Talabadi Vijay song. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I came to Toronto. Toronto was my first stop in Canada,
Okay.
2022. And I
Okay.
got a job in British Columbia. That's how I transitioned to BC side, like West Coast.
Nice.
So when I was in Toronto, of course, I love dancing. I just hit up with people, yo, I love your oil. You want to collab? Let's go. That's how
That's
I like
right.
go and love dancing that much. And people saw me and people saw my reels and they're like, oh, you have to take a workshop before you go to British Columbia.
Of
And
course.
that time Ranjitame got released, I guess. It was pretty
Yeah.
new. So that
Yeah.
was my first workshop in
Right,
Canada.
right. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, I mean, Varese, I think, was coming out at the
Yeah,
end of the
20
year or start of 2023, I
so
forget.
2023 Pongal was its release, but the
Right.
song, like the lyric video came like November. And it was a
November,
treat
right.
for us as fans, like
Yeah.
watching like the especially the last bit of that 1 minute where it
Yeah.
gets crazy. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Vijay's I would say all the recent movies they've had just banger songs. I mean, I feel like
So
it
good.
started with Arabic Kuttu, then it
Yeah.
went to Ranjitame, and then it's
Yeah.
Now Ready. It's just like
Yeah.
he's just killing it. It's incredible.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
And when we
yeah,
choreograph
awesome.
for our favorite heroes like movie songs,
Yeah,
we just get more love to it and the choreography
yeah.
comes out like the best version. So,
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
That's incredible. So then now walk us through your journey once you moved to BC, because
Hmm.
of course you established in British Columbia and Vancouver. You've done a lot. I mean, continue to
Yeah.
do everything on Instagram, YouTube, but you started a dance company. So would love to
Yeah.
hear what the journey's been since you moved to Vancouver and then how you started and why you started your
Yeah.
dance company.
Yeah. So I moved to BC in 2022 end, I guess, December. And of course, I was in a place called Chilliwack and there was not a lot of Indians and there was no dancing. There was not even Uber at the time, I guess. It was like a
Oh,
pretty
really?
outskirts. Yeah,
Okay.
outskirts of BC. But then of course, I would say I'm an extrovert and I started looking in Instagram like hashtag Vancouver dancers. Is there
Okay.
dancing at all? Am I gonna live without dancing? I got scared actually. And then I came across some amazing talents in Vancouver, like people who did Bollywood and everything. And I'm like,
Right.
I reached out to them, like, I came here, do you want to dance? And there was some
Mhm.
workshops going on, so I attended. I just got connected to everyone, and people saw me. They like we just loved connecting with each other. And
Nice.
after I did some workshops like in Jan and Feb, I just thought to myself that this has been a dream for me for the like since I came to the US, right? To
Yeah,
have my own dance company and stuff. And
of
now that
course.
I'm a permanent resident here in Canada, I'm like, why don't I do that? Because
Mm,
my primary goal is, yes, of course, I love dancing. I want to start my company, but also to educate the kids, teens, adults, not just in one culture, like not just Tamil, but also about every Indian style. So if you had seen
mm,
my showcase, it would have
yes.
every language. I think I pretty much like incorporated every language and every culture into it because I want every culture to be at its importance. So I started my dance company like Feb 18th. It's been a year.
Nice.
1 year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We just celebrated our 1 year anniversary. So we
Amazing.
have like regular classes every week in three locations for kids, teens, and adults. And then I take workshops like once a month. And pretty much that's how it started. And I want to bring a platform like stage where every kid gets the opportunity to perform in front of the parents or the audience, the camera, get dressed up and everything to get that experience for them. I always thought I wanted to do that. So that's how I came up with the annual dance showcase for all the students who have been training
Nice.
in our academy. And that's going to be every year.
Nice. So
Yeah.
when specifically was the last or the first showcase? Was it last summer or
Last
fall?
year, October,
October, right?
end of
Okay.
the year. Yeah.
End of the year, right? Okay. So you'll do to that point. You'll do another one at the end of this year. Okay.
This year.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So walk us through that. So you said all different songs across all different cultures, and I had a chance to peek through the
Hmm.
showcase video and watch different sets. Did
Yeah.
you choreo all of that all
Yeah.
as
It's
well?
just
Oh
me.
wow,
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, so sometimes I take requests from my students too because I obviously want them to feel it. If they
Of
like some
course.
song, I'll just go for it. And I got some recommendations from them. So I take that
Mhm.
song the previous weekend, and throughout that week, I'll just come up with some choreography. And then I take
Nice.
regular classes and workshops. Also, sometimes take some poll. Hey, I'm
Mhm.
planning to do this. Which song would you like and stuff?
Right.
So pretty much like since I love dancing, for me, music is priority, language is too. But when
Yeah.
I bring the moves into it, and if everyone are satisfied, I don't mind choreographing for any language. It's all about
Mhm.
dancing. Like dancing is
Mhm.
the key here, right?
Mhm.
So all the songs that I choreographed from last year Feb till like right now is basically, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 songs. I mean, I haven't even thought about it. When you said, I'm like, oh my God, okay, I've choreographed a lot of songs. But
Right.
yeah, that's how it started, to get the kids and the teens like what songs you would like to dance, even English
Of
songs
course.
sometimes.
Of
So
course.
that's how it started and it's going
Okay.
on. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. That's
Mhm.
incredible. So just so we're clear, it looks like weekly classes, weekly workshops in Vancouver. Everyone's
Yeah.
learning different
Mhm.
styles. That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
you said, I mean, that's interesting. You said you grew up self-taught, right? But then
Yeah.
you got into different workshops and things, and you're effectively
Mhm.
bringing that culture and embodying that in Vancouver. So that's
Yeah.
incredible. There,
Yeah.
nice.
And about that, yes, actually, when I was in the US for 6 years, I got to experience like Bollywood, like all the
Hmm.
artists who took workshop tours. And I started
Hmm.
following a lot of creators, like dancers. And I really liked it, like the Bollywood style and everything, which was new to me because, of course, I've done Bollywood, I've seen Hindi movies, but when I came
Right.
into the workshop culture, to get the routine learned in 1.5 hours, and then they
Hmm.
pick you as group, and when you
Yeah.
perform in front of them, I kind of like that too. So that thing I got experience through that. But of
Hmm.
course, Tamil is inside us, so that
Yeah.
came
Of
in.
course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what do you see as the demographic for most of your students in the company now? Is it a lot of younger individuals, but also adults too? There.
Yeah, it's actually a mix of both, I would say.
Okay.
Vancouver, the area itself is more of a settling down area. Like people come to
Hmm.
settle down because it's so pretty, beautiful. They don't
Yeah.
want like a city life and a little bit of laid back life. So yes, but of course now there are more immigrants coming. We are seeing a
Hmm.
lot of young individuals who are coming in Vancouver and too.
Nice.
So it's just getting mixed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. So that's
Mm-hmm.
incredible. Like you've done that for a year, and you're here now, and it's sustained. And you're. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to see the next showcase in at the end of the year here. But
Yeah.
coming to the next big thing that you're working on, which is effectively your global tour, your US tour. How
Mm.
that's how we got connected, right? We were like,
Yeah.
hey, we're coming to New York again, like you mentioned. You got connected to so or you knew Somya. She told
Yeah.
she connected us, and then we're making this happen. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited because this is going to be a fun class. Everyone, when we told them that you're coming to New York at the last workshop we did a week and a half ago, everyone was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, this is exciting!" And so
Oh, that's good
I'm
to know.
excited. It's going to be an experience. But
Mm-hmm.
walk us through what's the thinking behind like bringing and bringing about a global or U.S. tour here.
Yeah. So when I was in the US, like when I attended all the workshops that I used to go to, and I told myself, I'm gonna do a US tour. Maybe not now
Yeah.
because of the situation, but I promised myself I'm gonna work towards my goal and I'm gonna make it happen. And then I was like working towards that, back in India, like dancing and everything. But then I came to Canada, I started taking workshops. To be honest, I thought it would not happen this year. But
Oh,
last
really?
year,
Okay.
even Soumya, first of all, thanks to Soumya to get connected to us. And I did thank her, but to let all the audience know, me and Soumya even met in like a DD convention. Like it's a
Oh, nice.
dance, like a meetup for all the dancers. We went there to take some. That's how me and Soumya met. We actually met in a South Indian
Which one
workshop
was
there.
this? Is it New York? Was it in New York or
I think when we went, it was in DC, Washington. It
DC?
was
Okay.
2019.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because I was in a Bollywood national dance team too, like a UNC
Nice.
Chalka,
Okay.
right? So I think she was also in a team, and then we just met, and I met a lot of dancers, and they're still in
Yeah.
touch with me.
Close.
And them, and people in Canada, they saw my workshop, like the South Indian Kuthu style, and they actually told, I think you need to take this like globally, at least to the US for the next year, because this vibe is something I haven't like vibe or the song or the style is something you can't see more people doing it, and they
Hmm.
want this to be like brought out to the culture, wise out, and make this such a importance too. And all
Absolutely.
those things inspired me, and then like we connected and everything. Like I just talked to a lot of people, and people talked to me, and we organized, and it just worked out for the best. And yeah, that's how this journey all started.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's this type of style, right? It is here in New York in some regard from a perspective of we've had Tamil dance workshops, right? And we've had Telugu dance workshops, and
Mm-hmm.
people are starting to get exposed to Kuthu style. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely, I would say like across the country,
Yeah.
there isn't any Tamil dance or even South Indian dance workshops at the
Hmm.
scale as you're doing here.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's handful, we could say, right?
Right, right, right. It's a
Yeah.
very handful. I think there's a few in Seattle. I think some in Boston. Right, but again,
Hmm.
very few and far in between. Here,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's crazy to think about. But I'm excited that this is happening here and
Hmm.
that we're
Oh
able to
yeah.
make this.
I'm counting my days for the departure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, it'll be fun. And then you're gonna be. So, what cities have you done so far, and what cities are included in the tour as
Oh
of
yeah.
now?
So I started my tour with North Carolina. I have a
Mhm.
sentiment value.
Of
I was
course,
there for 6 years, so
right?
want to do there first. I did there, and then I did in California. And New York is going to be my third. And I'm
Nice.
planning for Boston and Albany. It's still in talks. And then I
Okay.
am going to Chicago, Michigan, and Minneapolis in May. And
Nice.
then I'm going to Austin, Dallas, and Houston in June.
Okay.
And July, I'm going to Florida. And August and September, it's still in talks, but I'm planning to end my tour in Los Angeles and
Sweet.
DC.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. 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 I mean,
Yeah.
those are great places to end it, especially LA. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. I love LA
Right. Yeah.
dancing scene.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious. So you're doing the U.S. tour. Any thoughts of taking this back to India and back to Chennai?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. I mean, that's where it all started, right? Like when
Right.
I came to Canada, my close people who love me and dancing, they were like,
Okay.
"Oh my God, you shouldn't go. Who am I gonna do Kuttu style with? Like, who am I gonna dance with?" I was sad too, but then they were also happy that I'm happy that I'm sure like you would take this style to Canada, like in
Of
Toronto
course.
and BC, and people there would get to experience. At that time, I didn't know, but now I can
Hmm.
strongly say that yes, I think people are getting exposed to this style. And
Right.
then I am going to India in the end of December. I
Yeah.
usually go like once a year or once in 2 years. So yeah, 100% I'm gonna have a workshop there to
Nice. Okay.
build a
Okay.
network
Cool.
community.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Excited to
Yeah.
see that.
Hmm.
Awesome. So this is incredible. I'm excited, and all of us, I think, will be excited to see where you take all the dance and all the workshops in the future. Now, what
Hmm.
I'm curious about is now, like taking a step back and looking at this journey that you've gone through again, like dancing at home to dancing shows in Chennai to then now doing the US tour. It's in your opinion, how
Hmm.
have you seen either Tamil dance or Tamil Kuttu style specifically either evolve or change over this time here?
Okay. Um, in regards to workshops and the people getting exposed to that culture, I would strongly say it is evolving a lot
Mm-hmm.
nowadays because I can take myself as an example. Like when I came to the US, like all the workshops I attended are people who toured North Carolina. There was no one who did like a South Indian style, like
Mm-hmm.
none. And even when I was in India and I came to Canada, when I looked Toronto, there were, like you said, like in New, where there was, when there's Tamil community, yes, we do see a lot of dancers, which is a good thing. And
Yeah.
in Toronto, I did see some of them doing it, but it will be like 80% like different styles and
Mm-hmm.
20% of like South Indian culture.
Right.
So I think the 20 is a little bit expanding to 25. And of course, like you hosting artists and we
Yeah.
traveling and we as working as a community, I'm can definitely say, strongly say that it is evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with terms to songs too, of course, this style will go as long as the songs are good,
Right.
right? Like, are amazing music directors who work on it and give us good songs with that particular style is good. So I would say it's evolving, and I think people are loving it, right? All the South
Mm-hmm.
Indian style songs are even appreciated in North India, which is very
Right.
good because we also love Bollywood and we learn from them. But also this song, even though they don't know the language, it's getting widespread. Like Arabic Kuthu, you said it's like a global hit,
Right.
and Bhati coming, not everything,
Of
right?
course.
All the
Of
songs that
course.
we've been doing. So I
Yeah.
would say it's definitely evolving, and I'm happy to be as one of the teeny tiny part making it evolving, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, compared to the previous years, I would say that.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that makes
Mhm.
sense. And I like it was intriguing to me in one piece that you had said, which was even in Chennai there wasn't Kuthu workshops, right? There was just
Yeah.
mostly hip hop and other styles. That's surprising, right? Because it's I would have assumed it would have stemmed from Chennai, where like
Yeah.
the Kuthu workshops or even styles, that's where it
Mhm.
become prevalent. But
Yeah.
interesting. Do you have you thought about that? And it's like, why is that? And why is that happening now? Is Kutu
I
prevalent
think
there
I
now
am.
or no?
Yeah, I'm sure even when I'm there, there were a lot, maybe like Kuttu styles going on, but it wasn't out to the public. Like I'm pretty
Hmm.
active on Instagram, right? Like I'll
Right.
watch all the medias and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe people keep it low key, and I never came across an ad saying that this is the song, like a South Indian Kuttu style is happening, right?
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I used to get a lot of ads where there's like other styles happening, like workshops and
Yeah.
everything, but I haven't seen like particularly.
Why do you
But I
think
think
that
now,
is?
maybe like I said, since the workshop culture throughout these years has been more of hip hop and like Bolly hop and
Hmm.
everything, maybe that culture, of course, when something is being represented, that's what might be getting carried to other parts throughout the world too. And I think people also like it because that's what most of the people like to see. So maybe they try to put more effort into creating that. Like when I
Hmm.
did Kutu style, like of course people love it, but when you talk about percentages, more people are going to love that style more. That's how the scenes were been, and I think now also, but to a certain extent. So maybe
Hmm.
that's the reason. I might be completely wrong, but I think
Hmm.
could be the reason. So it's
Okay.
about it's basically to the individual to bring out what he wants and what he would like the world to see.
Hmm. Hmm. That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair. And what are you
yeah.
seeing now? Has that grown since?
Oh yeah, I think so. Like after all the workshops happening and everything, definitely like I am seeing a lot more like Kuttu styles happening, and even though the percentage is less, I'm still happy to see like some of the percentage is
Yeah.
actually working towards that style. Because
Right.
when
Right.
it comes to languages, you can do any styles. Like you said
Of
that
course.
Adiradi Karan from Shivaji, right?
Yeah.
And that's gonna be hip hop, if I'm not wrong, right? It's gonna be like
Yeah.
the style is gonna be like hip hop, but still it's a Tamil
Tamil
song.
song. Of
It
course.
depends on the song's genre too. So there
Right.
are a lot
Right.
of workshops happening, but this particular style, like I said, it's slowly evolving, I would say.
Evolving. Right, right,
Yeah.
right, right. And I think to that point, it's like getting out of, I would say, like the roots of just Tamil Nadu
Hmm.
into like bigger culture. And I think
Hmm.
it's like interesting. It's like now with Bollywood movies being directed by Tamil directors like Jawan,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
then
yeah.
the songs being very like Tamil or like South Indian esque.
Mm.
It's okay. That wasn't like the I forget what the song was, right? and they did
Hmm.
like multiple versions
Yeah.
of it. But SRK wasn't dancing Kuthu per se, but you saw
Hmm.
the Kuthu elements
Yeah.
in the dance styles, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So even with that, right? Like I went to the movie with all everyone. Like people are like North Indians too, and they
right,
love the movie. I love the movie too, but I have seen movies like, in South Indian movies, and I was so happy to see them enjoying that movie. It
right.
was basically like, oh my God, you love a Tamil movie. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
bringing
yeah.
the culture into one entity and making
Right,
sure every language gets it. But it was just amazing to watch like it live when they
right.
loved it.
When they
So
loved it,
it's a
right?
huge hit. It's a
Yeah.
massive hit.
Yeah, I think so, and it's utterly. It's not to say them. I don't know. I would say the movie wasn't like the plot specifically
Hmm.
wasn't like. I mean, it had potential and it was like pretty good. Like acting was great and stuff, but it's like it wasn't the greatest movie. But it's like we've seen this before. We know it
Hmm.
works. It was still a good movie to watch, but it's like seeing all that elements come out. I think
Elements.
was
Hmm.
incredible. There,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It was
That's
good.
awesome. Nice,
Hmm.
nice. Well, now what I would love to cover is, I mean, it looks like over the last 5 years, your journey as a creator has evolved significantly, right? I mean, not to quantify everything, but I mean, you have an incredible following on Instagram, an incredible following on YouTube. How
Hmm.
did that all come about? Is it just all you on your side of
Hmm.
things running everything, or what was
Hmm.
the thinking? How did that happen there?
Oh, okay. So, uh, I think when I was in my undergrad dance team, I had still my good friend Ayush. He said that, dude, I think you should start a YouTube channel. And I'm like, oh no, that's like for dancers who do that full time. Like I'm into working. I still work as a full time project
Right.
coordinator, right? Like in my
Yeah.
major.
Yeah.
And there's no, like I've seen your dancing, I think you should do it, it should be well. And I started my YouTube channel just like everyone, right? Like a lot of everyone has a
Yeah.
YouTube channel, like why not,
Right.
right? With zero
Right.
subscribers and getting like 10 100 subscribers of your friends subscribe to my channel, subscribe to it. That's how it started.
Yeah. Of
I just
course. Yeah.
started. I'm sure you've seen my YouTube all videos. Oh my God, I cannot see
Yeah.
it, it's
Yeah.
so cringe sometimes. But
Yeah. As a
sometimes
prep to
we,
this, I went through everything. I took
oh
a
my
peek at
God, okay.
everything. And it's good. It's really good content. Then too.
But
Yeah.
sometimes when we watch our own videos, like, oh, 5 years old, oh my God,
Of
why
course.
did you do that? Even still now,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in a workshop, if I performed and I'm watching after 2 months, I'm like, what was that? Okay. But I'll keep
Yeah.
it to myself. I'm just saying. So it
Right.
started off like that. And I love creating contents. I love dancing with people. And like I did a lot of like South Indian songs with Americans, and they loved it. Like they have no idea. Like they have no
Oh
idea
really?
about the language or the culture, nothing. And my hip hop team had like, a lot of local people, and played them this song like Karthamalan Galija. If you had seen it, was Abby
Yeah.
Britt. She was Miss
Okay.
North Carolina, and she was a
Okay.
dancer too. So I showed it to her. I'm like, this is awesome, and I'm gonna do it. And she did it in one take, and it wasn't like
Really?
cuts. It was a 2 minute song. You know the energy of the song.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
It's a 2 minute. If you see, that was my second video on YouTube, and it
Okay.
got like 100K views, and it was just
I might
nice
have
to
missed
see.
that. I need to pull it up. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. It was just amazing to see how people enjoy it, and that every single instance like that just made me reassuring that you're going the right path, and this is a style that you have to bring it to the limelight.
Of course.
That's been my goal ever, like bringing South Indian culture to the
Mhm.
limelight and telling people like this is also a style that you will love and everything. So
Right.
that's how my YouTube started. But the terms of subscribers and followers,
Yeah.
what I would like to say is stop looking for it, because for
Mhm.
me, 2018 December on my birthday, December 11th is when I started my YouTube channel. Till 2020, I only had like 800 subscribers for 2 years,
Okay. Right.
right? Like it's and but still for me it's more
And your
that I
videos had a lot of views. It wasn't like your
yeah.
videos weren't doing poorly. They have a lot of views in general, right?
And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, I don't know, sometimes people say I don't know, but guys dancing and people like watching, I don't know if they'll subscribe right away, and
Sure.
people didn't subscribe right away. But
Sure.
I started my YouTube channel because I love doing it. It wasn't like, oh my God, I have to get that goal, because if
Right.
you reach for it, then you put over pressure on yourself, and then
Uh-huh.
it's not worth it.
Mhm.
What I would say is if you're really enjoying and doing it, do it. If you're
Yeah.
enjoying meeting people, making a content, making a choreography, and placing a tripod and then doing a reel, do it.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be the goal. Like I have to get that followers. Of course, when I started, I dreamt of it, but eventually I learned that it's not gonna come just because you think about it. So
Right.
I kept doing it. One
Yeah.
thing I would say is if you believe in your art, maybe your hard work will not pay off right away, but it will pay off. It might
Mm-hmm.
be in like 4 years for someone, 1 year for someone, 6 years for someone.
Right.
So 2020, I still did. 2022, I only had 1,800 subscribers.
Yeah.
2021 end, I guess.
Yeah.
But then I think I started the workshops and everything, and it started collabing with people, and then I started making videos, and some video went viral, and that's when I the subscribers came. So all
Right.
my hard work from 2018
Right.
paid off only like 2023.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
I had
But
given
you
up
had to
during,
do it. You had to do it.
yeah, you have to be consistent. If I had given up
Right.
during 2021, I'm still getting not getting subscribers. Why should I do it? You won't do it. You will give
Mm-hmm.
up. But
Right.
if you love and doing it, you won't feel the pressure. That's what I'm saying. Even in Instagram, like it was still, I still remember it was 2,300 till 2022 Endenru Punnagai workshop. And then I think Karthavana Galija, one video sometimes when it goes viral, like your followers can go higher. And
Yeah.
again, it will come down. And again, if there's another video, it'll go higher. So
Yeah.
never expected anything, just dance my heart out. Like
Yeah.
wherever I go and dance, it's all about how you enjoy doing it.
Of
And I
course.
love teaching everyone. I love bringing this routine to everyone. And whenever I
Nice.
perform, I don't think about anything. I just perform to see I'm putting my heart out, and
Yeah.
you are having the vibe. And I think that will eventually help you to the places that you want to, or the number of
Mm-hmm.
followers or subscribers. That's all that you need. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Absolutely. And I think
hmm
that that's incredible because that consistency matters because that
hmm
also is where your growth is coming in, right? By
yeah,
consistently doing it, you're getting better, right? With your
yeah.
dances, with your video quality, with the types of content you're
Oh,
putting
yeah.
out, everything,
hmm
right? Yeah.
One thing about that is when I collab with people,
Mm-hmm.
and when they bring a choreography, I
Right.
love doing it because you get to
That's incredible.
know their musicality. Like you
Mm-hmm.
choreograph in a way, right? Like
Yeah.
you, with your experience and with your style, you choreograph in a way. The same
Right.
song or the same of a different song, when they choreograph, you learn from them, and they
Mm-hmm.
learn from you. And
Right.
I would say it's a collaborative culture. Like when I was in Chennai for 3 years and I was working too, my car always has a tripod because I never know
Oh,
when I
really?
will get the idea. Yeah, it's always in trunk of my car. And then all the n number of collabs. If you've seen my Instagram, I have 900 posts,
Yeah.
right?
Trying so YouTube was easy to go to the bottom. I was on Instagram. I was like, let me see if I can find
Yeah,
your first post. And at some point I just gave up. I was like, there's so many
yeah.
posts in a good
It's
way. All of them are interesting,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's 900 posts, and I'm like, yeah, that's how much I love dancing. Like my tripod is with me when I travel. If I get an idea, I stop my car. I'm not even kidding. My mom and dad has been fed up with me. We used to go on temple trips because they love temples, but then I stop the car. I'm like, Dad, take this for video. Keep the angle like here. But they're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
sweet. They're like, they love it. They see me and they see some potential in me, and they won't be like, oh, it's time. Let's go to temple. கோயிலுக்கு போலாம்.
Yeah.
They'll sit and stay. Like that's how it worked. And all the collabs I did with my friends in India, I never knew what was going to happen then. But now I'm
Right.
so grateful that I was in Chennai. I
Of course.
collab with local talents and I
Of
did the
course.
collabs, and it's helping. It's definitely helping everyone. So,
Right. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's good
yeah.
to hear. That's good to hear.
hmm
So what I'm now curious about is I think you've really taken on everything as a part of this journey, right? Like from dancing, collabing, all the content side of things. It's just incredible to see. And it's like you
hmm
said, it took 5 years, but you're here now, and I'm sure this is not the end, right? There's just more to be coming.
Hopefully, touch wood.
Hopefully, knock on wood. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What, in your opinion, has been the hardest, if not most challenging, part of this journey? Because you're very extroverted. I know you can take. You're taking
hmm
everything on head on. But I'm curious
Yeah.
just to know more, like from your perspective, what's been the hardest part of this?
So one thing I would say the hardest was, like I said, media is ruling the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes what happens is the talent is sometimes recognized with terms of followers and subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Like when even when you have followers, it's a good thing. But
Yeah.
sometimes what happens is if you don't have that followers and subscribers,
Hmm.
a lot of people, some people, or like majority of people think that, oh, he doesn't have that much subscribe. Even though he's talented, if he didn't have that much subscribers, they won't come to your class because they automatically think that he's not good or she's not good, right?
Sure. Sure.
So one of the things, like I said, like when I didn't have that much of like followers or headcount, it was hard because I know I am good at something that I do, or at least
Hmm.
decent at something I do. I thought to myself that I can bring something in the plate. When someone comes to my workshop for 2 hours, they forget about all the stress they have in life and they enjoy dancing, right?
Yeah.
But to get that word out, of course, I needed that initial followers or subscribers because
Of
that's
course.
when you get the word out, right?
Of
So
course.
that is definitely challenging. And I've
Hmm.
seen people, even though they don't have a lot of it, there are amazing artists out there. Like in
Hmm.
Vancouver, I've
Yeah.
having so many friends who are like super talented in Toronto, but
Yeah.
I talk to them. We talk about dancing and everything, like all
Yeah.
the challenges and everything. We do have that problem. Like people sometimes show up, people sometimes don't show up to your workshop. Like you would have put so much effort into choreographing that
Of
piece,
course.
and when a lot of people doesn't show up, you feel sad and everything.
Yeah.
So that is definitely challenging with terms of
Hmm.
that. But I think one thing is that one thing I learned over the years is, let's say Kartamalangalija, even though there were not a lot of people who came for the Indenru Punage workshop because I was nowhere, but after that the word of mouth helps. Like people, when
Of course.
even though it's 10 people who comes to your workshop,
Yeah.
right? And if they
Yeah.
have a good time, they're gonna talk to 20 people,
Right.
and it's just gonna evolve. So what I learned is go down, it could go up. As long as you trust in your art and you bring something to the table, it is going to happen the way it is supposed to be.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think that was a challenge, but I just trusted in my art and went for it. So,
I mean, to that point, like you said this before, even with when we were talking about the YouTube and the Instagram accounts, right? It wasn't like, oh, I need to hit this count or this follower count or subscription. You did it because you wanted to dance, right?
yeah.
Your driving factor was, hey, I want to
Mm,
dance. I'm gonna put out the content. I'm putting it out because I want to, not because I'm expecting other people. And like that authenticity comes through because you're doing it for the love of it rather
yeah.
than, hey, it's like a means to an end. There it is.
Mm,
This is
yeah.
you fall in love with the journey, right? That's
Yeah. Yeah.
incredible. That's
Like I
incredible.
like my job too, but every
Of
time
course.
people say that after a full-time job, like they come home exhausted, but my energy wakes up at 5 p.m. I'm
Right.
like, what I'm gonna dance now? That's how I do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people say, how do you balance everything? But that's something when you love something that you do, like
Of
I
course.
look forward for my weekend classes. Like today I have a 3 hour class in New Westminster. Like when you
Oh,
look
nice.
forward to it, it doesn't feel like a stress to you, right? It's
Yeah.
like
Of course.
you love to do it, you just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we have the privilege of sharing our love and the passion
Hmm.
for what we're doing with other
Yeah.
people. So why not? That's incredible to hear. I mean, this
Yeah.
segues really well into what I was going to ask next was thinking about like yourself, right, as a creator, but also thinking at other creators, right, who are on just getting started with their journey. What advice would you have for them as they're getting
Hmm.
started here?
Yeah. Like, of course, this is something easy to say. Don't think about like followers and views and everything.
Of course.
I have to be honest. When I started, of course, I worried about it. Everyone worries
Mhm.
about it. But because when you put a lot of effort, when it doesn't show up as the result, you get sometimes heartbroken, which is true.
Right.
But what
Mhm.
I would say is, let me just give you an example. Like I choreographed
Mhm.
for Vati Coming. It's like my pet
Yeah.
project. Of course, Vijay's song. So I choreographed every single detail with his charm, my dance moves, and everything. It didn't get the lot of views that I expected, right?
Mhm.
But I know I put hard work. After 1 or 2 years, I did one trend, which was just like a 20-second song, and that went like 2 million
Mhm.
views. And
Right.
then that helped my followers to go like 6K,
Yeah.
right? So what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is that if you put your hard work in one, maybe even if it doesn't get you the one result that you need,
Yeah.
you just keep doing what you do. Like it doesn't matter. Even
Mhm.
if you don't get followers and it doesn't matter. You just keep doing it. Sometimes that 20-second trend would help you. It's not because that 20-second trend is a good content. all I see is all your hard work just paid off in that video,
Right.
right? You
For
just
sure.
keep doing what you do. Like your hard work that you put, any video that goes viral or any content that goes viral, it's not, I won't say personally that that content is good, so it got the views. No, not at all.
Yeah.
The way I see it is that all my last 10 years of work paid off in getting me a silver button in YouTube. That's all I
Of
would say.
course. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So to
Right.
the all the new creators and everything, what one thing I would say is keep trusting your art, keep doing what you love.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect for results. If you do your hard work, for some it's 1 year, for some it's
Yeah.
6 years, but
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Right. That's the piece of the puzzle that matters. Right. It's also the other angle, right, which I think
Hmm.
you're effectively implying is like the followers, even if the views weren't viral, but you still
Hmm.
had people liking it, probably commenting. It's quality over quantity in some regard,
Hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
there's the engagement piece, right,
Hmm.
of the people who are really into what you're doing. They're still going to engage, right?
Yeah.
And that matters because that is what's true community building. That's a true
Yeah.
community of people around you. So,
Yeah.
last question on
Hmm.
this regard, right, in your creator journey is I'm curious, how are you balancing your professional
Hmm.
engineering life with
Yeah.
your, in some regard now, also professional dancing life as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah. This is something I always get from all my friends. Like, I think, like, maybe it's also about how you are brought up. Like I said, I was brought up in India. We are, of course, everyone are taught the importance of money. Like parents, oh, this is what's gonna give you the money. You will be fine if you do this. If you
Right.
do
Of
dancing full
course.
time, it's not, you get exposed to that things. But what I thought is, for me, I love the way my life turned out to be. Of course, I love that I had that education. I had the, I mean, only because of a master's, I got exposed to the U.S. culture. Like I came to
Mm-hmm.
Canada. If my dance company is happening in Canada, it's because of my bachelor's. So that's something I love to do too. But it's
Mm-hmm.
when I talk about work-life balance, honestly, we have time. Some people
Yeah.
think we don't have time if we do a full-time job.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you do a full-time job for 8 hours, there's 24 hours in a day. What I do is I strategically plan my day. It's not, I mean, maybe I kind of have like my organized, like the planner schedule and everything.
Yeah.
So when I do something on that time, I do it 100%. I try not to
Nice.
deviate from it because
Nice.
if we do that, I still sometimes get free time. Like at that free time, I
Mm.
just try to go on vacation or go on tours and everything. So I think what I'm trying to say is like when you plan something, plan 1 week ahead and try to get things done as you plan. Of course, there's going to be challenges, but what I do is whatever happened the last week, I'm not going to make it reflect next week. You have to
Mm-hmm.
re-energize yourself and keep doing it because if you spend that time to what you were supposed to spend, you can still do it. That's all I would say. I still have more
Okay.
time if that's what you're asking. I'm
Yeah.
doing an
Yeah.
8 hour job, 5 days. I'm teaching 9 hours of class every week. I take workshops once a month. I have a
Yeah.
showcase US tour. I still have time. Like I have
You
time
still have
now.
time. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, you have time. It's all about how you plan. And of course, you have seen my Instagram. I love traveling. I
Of
go to
course.
places. It's just, yeah, you just need to plan your head, and that helps a lot.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Planning ahead allows you to get the things you need to get done so you
yeah,
have the free time to do the things
definitely.
that just come up in the spur of the moment, the serendipitous moment. So that's
Yeah.
incredible. That's
And it's
great to hear.
okay to
It's great
take
to
your
hear.
time. Like when I came to
Yeah.
Canada initially, I took my time because it's a new country. Even though I've been in the US, it's a new country. So for 3 months, I took my time to, settle down in British Columbia, see the house, everything. We have our own responsibility, right? So it's
Right.
okay so that you can bounce back higher. Because in India, the demography matters.
Right.
Even like when we were talking about the reels and everything, my reach was good. People in India, the content creation is good, but when I
Okay.
came to Canada, all the videos I post, yes, there has been some good reach, but sometimes you don't get the reach that you got in India. But it's
Mhm.
okay. You
Yeah.
love doing it, just do
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Well, I mean, to that point, you since the internet is global, you still have the ability to stay in touch with your communities you've built in America, in India, and now you're
yeah,
building a new community in Canada too. So you have access to all of them wherever you decide to travel next, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good thing
yeah.
with media. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay,
Mhm.
sweet. So this has been incredible, right?
Yeah.
We're wrapping towards the end here. I have a few final rapid fire questions
Oh my God,
to wrap
I'm
things.
not gonna lie. I've been very bad at it, so I'm like kind of scared. But
Okay.
okay, it'll be fun.
No, no,
It'll be fun.
you've been incredible. I mean, everything has been amazing, right? So,
Yeah,
well, first question, I'll make it easy.
yeah.
Well, I think it's easy. Hopefully, it's easy for you.
Okay.
Is what is next for Karthik Nats? You're doing the US tour, right? And then
Hmm.
you have the company, and that's
Hmm.
going on to its second year. But what is next for Karthik Nats? I'm thinking, like, what's the vision 5, 10 years from now? Here.
Oh yeah. So taking this South Indian Kuthu style, like I'm taking it to the US and Canada now, but I want to travel to London, Australia, everywhere, throughout the globe. That's my goal. That's
Nice.
what
Okay.
I'm looking for in the next 5 years or 10 years.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
to make it global.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Incredible. Incredible. I love it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then my next question was going to be, what is the inspiration behind the name Karthik Nats, and especially the Nats part? But you explained that at the start, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But why did you choose to keep it? Yeah, I know you said your friends named you, but why did you choose to keep
To be honest, I was dumb. I was like,
it?
oh, my friend said, oh, Natarajan is like too long. Let's just keep it not like Nats. I'm like, okay, whatever. I just needed a
Yeah.
Facebook account at the time. But
Yeah.
then thinking about it now, it's funny how it played out. Like I
Yeah.
always also believe like everything happens for a reason.
Right.
And Nats happened for a reason. I like it.
Nats
It's
happened for
fancy.
a reason. Did your dad? I assume it's your dad's name, right?
Oh
Natarajan.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
my dad was
Did he
like
have a reaction to it?
initially he wasn't even in Facebook, right? Now everyone are into
Okay.
media, and I'm like,
Right.
I would love if your name had been Natarajan. Now that people are knowing you, I'm like, sorry, Dad, but I always tell Karthik Natarajan whenever I go, so it's
Right.
there.
Right.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. That's. I can imagine. I can imagine the reaction he probably had. That's
yeah.
incredible.
He was like,
Sweet.
what?
That's awesome. Okay, and
Yeah,
then next question I have here is, why is Talabadi your favorite actor or hero?
I could talk hours about it. Of course, I think the initial thing, I love all the actors. It's not
Of
like
course.
I don't like, but when it came to dancing, like I said, when my mom saw me like watching TV and replicating the steps, I don't think there were a lot of like South Indian actors that
Right.
I looked up to. Was like, oh my God, he's so good at dancing. So it probably my first connection was dance, of course,
Hmm.
with
Hmm.
Talapati Vijay. But then I don't know, he's just like he's 50 years old now. Have you seen him
Right.
like recently? Like he's like fit and
He looks
he
younger than ever.
yeah, he looks younger than like when he was 20 or 21, to
I
be honest.
absolutely, absolutely.
And he like the way he acts, the way he dances, the what I like about is he make it effortless and the
Uh-huh.
expressions he gives while dancing. For
Hmm.
me, the South Indian Kuttu song that I'm doing, it's an inspiration for me. A lot of people say
Right.
I enact the Alabadi Vijay's moves, and I'm not ashamed at all. I want that to be the
Hmm.
compliment. Oh my God, you have that same style. I'm like, hell yeah, I have the same style. That's what I've been like looking up to. He gives the image of a next door boy. When we want to be someone, and when someone is doing our part, that's how I get connected. And I've seen him
Amazing.
in person once too. I miss taking photo, but hopefully it happens soon. But I like
Okay.
everything about him. And
Okay.
my friends are
Incredible.
pretty gonna be pretty bored because every time I say that to them too, and then
Yeah.
they're like, "Hurry, why did you ask that question to him?"
That's awesome.
So
Well, I
I
have a
love,
follow up. I have a follow up to that. What is
yeah,
your favorite Vijay movie, and what is your favorite Vijay song?
Gilly appadi podu done.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gilly is like I can even watch now with the same excitement that I did when I was going to school. Like I can
That's
still
incredible.
watch it in TV or theater. Even if
Right.
it's a
Right.
re-release, I'll go first day for sure.
That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible. I mean,
Hmm.
I hope one day I'll manifest this. I'll say it here, and
Yes.
if it
Yes.
happens, you have to let me know.
Yeah,
Manifestation
definitely.
is that one day you can have a collab dance with Talabadi himself.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, yeah, let's
I'm
manifest
putting it
it.
out. I'm putting it out here. I'm putting it out here. You heard it here first. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Knowing you, I believe. I believe you'll make it happen. Yeah,
Oh,
that'll be
thank you.
incredible.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Good to
So,
manifest.
yeah, absolutely. Well, last rapid fire question
Yeah.
is, this is, I always say this It's a very common question that Tim Ferriss asks. So he's one of my inspirations of creating content and podcasting like this, right? But the question he asks all his guests is, let's say you had the opportunity to put anything you wanted on a billboard that a million people would see every single day. What would you
Mm-hmm.
want it to say?
Like a wording?
Or anything, words, phrase, quote,
Oh,
image, picture, even a video. We'll get creative here. What would you want it to say?
oh my God. Last question has been is toughest. Yeah. Oh, what would I say? Okay, I know it's a rapid fire, but I'm not able to think. But
All good, all
okay,
good.
since dance is like my go-to forte, I think I would say, or I don't know if I would say or put on a video or like something
Right.
to to tell people the importance of every dance culture. I think I would do that because it's not just one language, one style. Every language, every style. Probably I'd put that wordings there.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Sweet, sweet. That's incredible. Well, now that inspired me to ask one last rapid fire question
Okay.
here.
Hope it's not tough.
Well, I hope it's not tough, but like the last rapid fire question is, so you've learned a lot of styles. What style is on the horizon of something you're eager to learn or you haven't learned yet or you want to learn soon?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I always, I've done Afro like
Okay.
beats, but sometimes I feel like it has like a good of a Kuthu vibe too. And I haven't taken like a workshop, like an Afro
Right.
workshop. Like I did semi-classical 2 weeks back. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And jazz, contemporary hip hop. But yeah, I think I would say Afro.
Afro. Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
we have a creator here in New York. Her name is
yeah.
Christian. She was on the podcast before, and she's definitely pioneering
Yes.
like Tamil Afro. So you should definitely, if you haven't connected with her, you should definitely connect with her when you come here
Yeah.
to New York.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I'll
absolutely.
do that then.
Cool.
Nice. Good
Well,
to know.
awesome. Well, absolutely amazing, and it's a pleasure to have you on the first season of the Arrambam Show. And thank you for
Yeah.
joining us and spending the time here.
Thank you, Hari. Thank you. I mean, I hope my answers are good. I don't know, but yeah, I
Yeah,
love talking about like Tamil culture, and I it was basically my going through my history. So it's good to like
yeah,
talk to someone about it and
yeah. Of
get
course.
to share my experience and stuff. Yeah, thanks for making this happen, and I'm
Absolutely.
excited. Let's do it in New York.
Yeah, absolutely. This
Yeah.
is just the beginning because we're at the start of the month, but we're gonna see each other at the end of the month, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
an absolute banger of
Yeah.
a night on the 27th. So
Okay.
if you're all listening to this before the 27th and you're near the New York area, would love for all of you to join us on the
Yes.
27th evening for Karthik's workshop. Here,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you. Dance with
yeah,
you all soon.
absolutely. Dance with
Yeah.
you all soon. Absolutely. Well, awesome. Thanks everyone, and thank you, Karthik, and we'll see you soon.